Crash Bandicoot, an iconic mascot from early in PlayStation's history. A character who laid the groundwork for what a platformer truly is today. And now he's back from his plummet into gaming history after the release of Wrath of Cortex. Because, let's be honest, the following games after that were complete garbage, and Wrath of Cortex itself wasn't that good. But that's another video for another day. Enter Crash Bandicoot and Sane Trilogy, a game produced by Vicarious Visions that aims to remaster all three of the original Crash games: Crash Bandicoot, Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back, and Crash Bandicoot Warped. I'm Adam Crash from JestFables, and today I'm going to be giving you my pros, the cons, and my personal opinion on what I think about the Crash Bandicoot and Sane Trilogy. First off, let's begin with the pros. The visuals in this game look incredible. I think Vicarious Visions did an amazing job capturing the beauty and the spirit behind Crash Bandicoot, since this is a remaster and they had no original source code to work with at all. They built the whole game from the ground up. Whether it's the vibrant, bright colors that are in a rainforest, or the cool, smooth colors that are in a frozen tundra. These colors offer an immersive experience that tantalizingly make you feel like you're a kid again playing Crash Bandicoot. The voiceover work was done exceptionally well and helped bring each character to life that much more. They even went so far to include the man who sounds like he's releasing 1,000 fire ants from a burning rectum when he says the word warped. Here's a clip of what I'm talking about.
Crash Bandicoot War! Crash Bandicoot War!
Yeah, that doesn't sound too comfortable. But they did a great job in bringing back such a small detail that was even in the original game. Another great pro for this game is the inclusion of time trials in every single version of the game. Originally, time trials were only in Crash Bandicoot Warped, but in this remastered version they include time trials in both 2 and 1, which gives a whole new dimension of replayability to the first and second game. Now, some people might think that time trials in the first and second game make it that much better. Well, I'd argue time trials are nothing without the right music, and the music in this game is awesome. It's basically a remastered version of the old soundtracks that were in the old games. All the theme songs for 1, 2, and 3 are all still the exact same, with little updates and changes, but it's the same melody throughout. Popular songs like Hog Wild, which you can hear a little clip now. And other memorable tunes, in particular the Crash 1 theme song and the Crash 3 theme song, which you can hear here. There's just the perfect amount of energy in all of the music that's in this game that keeps you want to keep playing, even when you get beyond frustrated, which we'll get to momentarily. And finally, the last pro on this list is going to be the loading screens. Now, back when you played the original Crash Bandicoot, if you wanted to access secret parts of the game, you had to find out from a friend or figure it out on your own, and this game gives you a hint in the loading screen while you're waiting. To some people this might be a con, but to someone like myself it's a pro. It's simply just a hint to let you know where something might is or what something might be, but without completely giving it away. I'd feel differently about this if it was just very obviously telling you what's going to happen, but in this case it's not. It gives you a hint, and you take from it what you will. Now going down the list of cons. The first con on this list is actually going to be something that's already a pro: the loading screens. And holy crap, will you spend the majority of your game on a loading screen. For a game that just has levels in it that you could beat within 20 or 30 seconds for some of them, the loading screens take upward of anywhere from 10 to 15 seconds. Yes, I actually timed them in the recording of this video, which may not seem too long, but in the level where you're only playing for about a minute, you have to wait for 15 seconds of it to load. That's a fourth of the time. It's a little ridiculous. We have these strong computers processing this game. I don't see why it couldn't load a little bit faster for such a simple level that loaded faster in the PS1 era. Now I have a bit of a question to ask everyone who's watching this video. Have you ever played Demon Souls or Dark Souls 1, 2, or 3? How about Crash Souls? Because fuck this game when it comes to actually doing the platforming, which is a majority of the game. Now, I won't say the controls are at the point where they're broken, because they're not. You can still play the game, and it's still fun, but it's just broken enough to make it frustrating. Very, very frustrating. Back when you played the original Crash, the controls and the platform were really snappy. When you wanted to jump on a box and you visualized jumping on that box, you jumped on that box. But in this new game, Crash always seems to come short, whether it's on a box or a platform. The depth perception and the accuracy as it pertains to jumping are extremely frustrating in this game. I wouldn't call myself a platforming master or someone who's amazing at video games, but I'm good enough to know when something's right and when something's wrong, and this is simply not right. Again, not broken, but not right. In certain points, the platform was so frustrating to me that the idea of taking guitar string and rubbing it underneath my toenail and popping off each individual toenail might sound more pleasurable than going through the same parts of these levels over and over again, because holy crap does it get frustrating at some points when you're trying to just do one certain thing. Now, you probably won't run into this issue if you're just running through and just grabbing the crystals and getting to the end of the levels, but if you're trying to collect all the gems or do a little bit better, or especially in Crash 1, don't even get me started on Crash 1, because that game is frustrating in itself, and these controls made it that much more frustrating. Road to Nowhere, I'm talking to you. And if you want to be cheap, yeah, the rope trick actually works in the remastered version, just so you know. Now, what's the one thing that can make the gameplay in this game that much harder? The inconsistent frame rate. Now, it's not a problem I've personally had, but I've seen other people playing that have had this issue. Now, as you can see in this clip, it's Coco spinning around, and there's a lot of motion blur because we're playing at 30 frames per second. I personally haven't seen the frame rate drop while I was playing, but I do notice at 30 frames per second, and it would be nice to have it at 60 frames per second. Again, not a major deterrent, but enough for it to make my list of cons. Now we're going to move on to the best part of this entire video. I promise you, it is my personal opinion. Because that's why you're all here watching this video right now. You want someone else's opinion. Did your mother ever tell you not to talk to strangers? To never accept candy from an adult? How about a creepy floating mask? The Aku Aku mask honestly creeps me out every single time it comes up from the bottom of the screen. It's kind of unnerving and unsettling seeing this face just smiling, looking into your soul, slowly floating up of a black background. It's enough to make me feel uncomfortable. On the reverse of that, Uka Uka looks amazing in this game. If you ever get to a game over screen or the opening cutscene in Crash 3, the detail on him looks incredible, the shading, the lighting, and the shadow around him is great. Uka Uka is my favorite Crash Bandicoot character, and I think he's portrayed in this game exceptionally well. The voice acting that goes along with him is great, and the way he looks is awesome. Something else I really enjoyed in this game were the leaderboards. Now, we already have the time trials in all the games, but Vicarious took it one step further by adding leaderboards, so you could see where you stood against everyone else. It kind of gave you that old feeling of playing in an arcade and getting the high score in the arcade, which is a great feeling when you make it towards the top of that list. So it's nice to see something similar like that in this game. Something I personally hated were the nitro crates. And yes, just like in the previous games, they jump. But sometimes in this game, they jump so high and Crash jumps so low that you end up hitting them. So anytime you just want to clear a nitro crate and you're going to jump over it very clearly, the nitro crate will pop up and kill you. I can't even begin to say how many times it's happened to me, and how many times I've screamed in anger when it does. My body literally overheats when playing this game at certain points. It's that bad, but I love it at the same time. I'm sure some of you out there know what I'm feeling. If not, I guess I'm a masochist. Going back to good things, something I really loved in Crash 2 was the fact that you could jump on Polar and get some free lives, and if you don't know about this, well, now you know. In Crash 2 on the second level warp room, Polar the polar bear is waiting outside. You repeatedly jump on him, you get some lives. And it's kind of funny to see him squish into a puddle. Dog abuse is bad. Finally, the idle animations and the death animations in this game were done exceptionally well. There's a point in one of the idle animations where Crash throws up a Wampa fruit into the sky. And if you wait and don't move, it lands on him, he has a purple face, he spins around, he's back to normal. Well, props to Vicarious on this one, because if you interrupt the idle animation once the Wampa fruit's in the air and start walking around, the Wampa fruit will still eventually fall on you a little bit later, leading Crash to be covered in purple goo. And it doesn't come off until you spin. I just thought that was a really clever and funny thing they added in the game. So, in conclusion, what do I give Crash and Sane Trilogy? Crash Bandicoot has been my favorite video game of all time, hands down. All of them were. It was basically my childhood. So I kind of had high expectations for this game when I heard they were remastering it. So from a scale from 0 to 5 Wampa Fruit, I give this game 4 Wampas. The major pro in this game are the visuals and the music were really consistent, and the major con was the controls. I feel if they release a patch and fix the controls, this game would easily get a 5 out of 5 from me, but until then, it will be sitting at a 4. Thanks for taking the time out to check out our video, guys. If you picked up the new Crash Bandicoot game, leave a comment, let me know what you think. I'd like to hear some other opinions as well. I've heard both positive and negative all over the internet, so I'd like to know what you guys think. Do you guys like the new game? Are you getting frustrated with the controls as well? Or is it just me? And lastly, check out some of our other videos. Me and Jason do a variety of things, anything from various kinds of Let's Plays to getting covered and pelted with eggs. If you like comedy and you like video games, please click subscribe down below. Thanks again, guys.